In this video, I will be discussing the Hatamoto in Japan's Sengoku period of the 15th and 16th centuries. Some of you may be well versed in this subject. Others may have heard the term, but aren't really sure what it means. Perhaps some of you have never heard this term before. By the end of this video, I hope to have provided you with a basic idea of who the Hatamoto were and some of the things they did during the Sengoku period. This video is part of the monthly collaboration series done in conjunction with other Japanese history YouTube channels. These channels are Samurai and Ninja History, the Shogunate, and Samurai Traditions of the Tada Genji. Their channel links will be in the description, and the links for this month's videos will be in the pinned comment. Please check out their videos and give their channels a look for a variety of content. The term Hatamoto appeared sometime in the Sengoku period. However, it was just a new term to describe something which already existed. Also, this was not exclusively the only term used either. It was a term which originated to describe warriors who acted as their lord's personal bodyguards on the battlefield. Now, warriors fulfilling this role had been written about in literary war tales, or Gunki Monogatari, dating back to the 14th century at least. The word Hatamoto is made up of two kanji. The first one is hata, which refers to a flag or banner. The second one, moto, means something along the lines of near, origin, or present. Like many kanji, both of these have different meanings and pronunciations, but these are the ones pertinent to this video. The term is often translated as bannermen in English. Hatamoto typically came from direct personal retainers of the lord. However, this was not always the case. As a group, these retainers were sometimes called gokinin, or housemen. These were the provincial jisamurai, kokujin, others who could be called samurai, and other local strongmen who were subordinate directly to the lord. During the periods of the Kamakura and Monomachi Bakufu, gokinin was used to describe direct retainers of the shogun. However, in the Sengoku period, direct retainers of provincial lords were sometimes also called gokinin. Gokinin was a status that applied to the entire family. Now, nomenclature in pre-modern Japan is very fuzzy, so while these terms existed and I will use them in this video, it should not be taken that the term gokinin, or any other really, were the only terms used, nor were they used in every and all circumstances. However, for ease of differentiating, I am trying to minimize confusion in terminology. Now, I should specify what kind of lords I am talking about. Using the English term lord is extremely vague, I will admit. I am not talking exclusively of those who would typically be considered daimyo. Daimyo were among those who had Hatamoto, but not exclusively. However, I am also not talking about the local country lords, such as jisamurai and kokujin. Local lords were typically too small to have Hatamoto under them, albeit not always. Some of the larger ones might have had a small number of Hatamoto. So, when I am talking about the lords Hatamoto would serve, there was no clear line in the Sengoku period. I just wanted to cover the fact that not everyone who could be called a lord, to our minds, would have had Hatamoto, nor were Hatamoto exclusively for the highest tier of lords. Hatamoto were not typical gokinin though. At a time when loyalties could often be tenuous, they were those gokinin whom the lord considered to be the most reliable, loyal, and trustworthy. Another difference was that being a Hatamoto was an individual status. A person was a Hatamoto, but a family usually was not, at least not in the Sengoku period. There were instances in which certain retainer families were particularly close to their lord's family, and so Hatamoto may have come from them across generations. But the title or status of Hatamoto itself was usually not inherited. As their name suggests, on the battlefield, one of their primary obligations was to act as their lord's personal bodyguard. Initially, these were who the term referred to, as I stated before. The term implying the physical closeness to their lord by being under or near his banners or other heraldry. There were other defenses and other troops that would protect a lord and his encampment, but the Hatamoto were the lord's last line of defense in the event that an enemy broke through the lord's field headquarters, or if the lord went into battle himself, they were to follow and protect him then as well. Some could also act as advisors on the battlefield, suggesting courses of actions in the field headquarters. These men were also trusted subordinate commanders in a battle, taking command of groups of soldiers within the lord's personal army. When needed, Hatamoto were also put in field command of entire battles or campaigns. A lord did not always go to the battlefield themselves, and sometimes this was not an option if the lord was conducting multiple engagements. In such situations, they could delegate command of forces to their Hatamoto. Now, Hatamoto were not the only ones to take up such tasks, but they were among those who could be entrusted by their lord to do so. Due to their close relationships to their lord, Hatamoto were trusted in matters beyond the battlefield. Some of them remained his closest bodyguards. Others might have acted as his military or civil advisors. However, other Hatamoto could take on the task of bureaucrats in their lord's civil administration. They could also be among their lord's bugyo. Bugyo usually translated as commissioner or magistrate in English. Usually in translation, the former is used in military context and the latter in civil matters. However, in Japanese, they are the same word. There were various bugyo that might have overseen numerous things: maintaining weapons, maintaining armor, procurement and storage of supplies, procurement and care of horses, finances, overseeing construction projects, legal affairs, and so on. The amount and types of bugyo in a lord's service was largely dependent on how large and wealthy their domain was and how complex their administration was. So the idea that samurai of the Sengoku period were not bureaucrats and that is a completely Edo thing is not a completely accurate statement. While it was certainly much more the case in the Edo period, there were warrior bureaucrats even in the days of the Sengoku period, a time when many consider the samurai to have been the most warlike. So, to summarize the main ideas of this very basic and general overview of the Hatamoto in the Sengoku period, the Hatamoto were usually picked from among the most loyal, at least to the lord's mind, and trusted direct personal retainers. Some of them were relied upon to be his elite and closest bodyguards on and off the battlefield. However, other Hatamoto could also fill a number of military and civil tasks due to their lord's trust and reliance on them. They could act as bodyguards, advisors, commanders, and or bureaucrats. Hopefully, I have presented the information in a way that allows you to walk away from this video with at least a basic understanding of these main ideas. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. Please have a look at the other creators involved in this collaboration. If you like my work, I am sure you will like theirs as well. A special thank you to my Patreon members, Coulter Nebel, Roman Hunger, and Busho. I really do appreciate your generosity. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like, sharing, and subscribing. I look forward to your comments, criticisms, questions, and discussions in the comments section below. Links to social media will be in the description. I hope you will join me for the next video. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and please take care of yourself. Bye for now. Otsukaresama deshita.